Now at 6, Missouri is trailing much of the rest of the country when it comes to nursing home employee vaccinations. We'll hear from local health professionals about the numbers. Plus,
MedFlight sees more and further calls as the pandemic continues to hit the 4-state area. I'm Zach Dodge with the story.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Missouri is almost last in the nation when it comes to staff vaccination rates in nursing homes. And local health professionals say they're working to boost those numbers. This is KOAM News at 6. Just 48% of nursing home workers in the state are vaccinated, while 82% of nursing home residents are vaccinated. Joplin Health and Rehabilitation Center's administrator says they're doing what they can to boost vaccination rates among staff.
We are constantly promoting to get vaccinated. We believe strongly in vaccinations. We have had the free vaccination clinics here at our facility. We'll continue to have those. We work with the Joplin Health Department. And
currently, 47% of the Joplin Health and Rehabilitation Center staff are fully vaccinated. For residents, that number jumps to 77%. Last month, we told you about the stress ambulance crews are under as calls, volumes, and transport distances increase with the Delta variant hitting the region. Well, that problem isn't exclusive to the ground. KOAM's Zach Dodge has details on what MedFlight is seeing and how the crews are impacted.
After 7.5 years, you might think the wonder of being in a helicopter every day would start to wear off.
Sometimes the coolness wears off at the wee hours of the morning, but it's still pretty good the next time you come on shift.
And it's a good thing flight nurse Nate Van Winkle still finds his job cool, since he's been spending more and more time in the chopper.
We've got about a 25% uptick in transports.
Overall transports for MedFlight have increased, up by 40% in the first quarter of the year. And while that increase isn't caused just by COVID patients, the pandemic is causing another issue.
We're doing transports into different cities than we ever have in 20 years.
On average, flight times have increased by 44 minutes because they can't find open beds at closer hospitals.
We have to do some pre-planning as far as how much oxygen we're carrying, making sure we have enough medical supplies for the extra distance that we're going. Have to make sure we have extra fuel on board to make sure that we can make it to that particular destination.
And even after figuring all of that out, nurses like Van Winkle then have to care for patients in a stressful situation for longer amounts of time.
And so we keeping a watchful eye out on each individual person that's in the helicopter, making sure that we're not getting too fatigued. It definitely makes for a little bit longer days.
I'm not sure there's an end in sight. It would be nice to see this slow down.
I mean, we get in this business to be busy and to take care of people, so it's never any good when people are really, really sick, but happy that we're here to help them take care of them.
In Joplin, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
Over the last couple of months, crews from MedFlights have done transports to Tulsa, Kansas City, Wichita, and Oklahoma City. Nick Kelly, some of us were glad to see some rain today.
Yeah, it certainly helped us out by staying away from most of us, at least near highs near 90 degrees down. And certainly we're looking good to start this 6 o'clock hour out. Mostly sunny skies from 7th and Range Line. This is what happened today. The storms that we were expecting to stay north and east of the region, Mother Nature always has the final say, so those storms took a dive south right through the region. They were collapsing as they did, but we still got some decent downpours of rain in a couple of spots. But in its wake, there's a very thin line of reflectivity. That's outflow coming out of those thunderstorms, or came out of those thunderstorms. We're just waiting to see if that can fire off a few isolated storms within the next few hours. But right now, we're all looking okay. We're all quiet and at least warm, certainly better than hot. Mid to upper 80s all across the board. Eventually, we will see temperatures trend downward again, 77 by midnight. Overnight lows in the upper 60s, but now I have other rain chances in the forecast, and it may impact parts of the Labor Day weekend. We'll break down the forecast here in a bit.
Catch you then. Exactly 30 years have passed since a woman disappeared from the Galena, Kansas nightclub where she worked. Carol Solons was 18 years old when she was last seen at the nightclub on August 31st, 1991. In 2002, Donald Kidwell pled guilty to battery and interference with law enforcement for his role in Solons' disappearance. Another suspect has since died, but still much of the case remains a mystery. A $30,000 reward is offered for information that leads to the discovery of Solon's remains. Cherokee County Sheriff David Grove says the anniversary opens new wounds for a family desperately seeking answers.
Every day is difficult, but today is an especially difficult day for the family. And as each year goes by, hope diminishes, but they still have hope that they'll be able to lay their loved one to rest in a proper burial place.
Anyone with information should contact the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office. Still ahead, protesters take their calls for justice for 2 Missouri inmates to the state Supreme Court. And later, Missouri Southern football will open its first season with a new head coach on Thursday against Nebraska Kearney. We'll hear from the Lions about what makes this year's team different than years past. Criminal justice advocates were turned away from the Missouri Supreme Court yesterday after trying to deliver several hundred petitions to the Attorney General. That's according to the attendees of the Rally for Justice, which is calling on officials to free Kevin Strickland and Lamar Johnson, 2 prison inmates who many say are innocent. Governor Mike Parson and Attorney General Eric Schmidt have expressed skepticism about their innocence, but that didn't stop members of the National Organization of Exonerees, who say they traveled from all over the country to deliver more than 3,000 petitions for Strickland's and Johnson's freedom. Organization members who say they're former inmates themselves claim they were turned away from the Supreme Court based on their appearance.
Wrongful convictions is America's little dirty secret. Nobody wants to talk about it. Everybody wants to believe that American justice system is perfect. We go around the world telling people how they should do their thing, how other countries should be and behave. But America has a real problem with wrongful convictions.
It was revealed yesterday that the Jackson County prosecutor has filed a motion asking a judge to exonerate Kevin Strickland. Lawyers for Missouri residents who had their federal unemployment benefits cut when Governor Mike Parson pulled out of programs in June are asking for a court to reinstate with back pay. The action in a Cole County court comes just a week before enhanced benefits, which added hundreds of dollars to unemployment checks for Americans during the pandemic, were set to end for the rest of the nation. A lawsuit filed earlier this month asks the judge to rule that Missouri's early withdrawal was unlawful. Lawyers are trying to get unemployment benefits paid retroactively. Crowded College's Board of Trustees announces it's begun its search for a new president and is asking the public for input. Tomorrow, the college will host public forums to help the board better understand what residents are looking for in a new president. The forums are at 9 and 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. at the Wright Conference Center. A 4-stage World War II veteran was set to take to the skies for a dream flight today, but a broken hip kept him grounded. So instead, William Bell's family was invited to the Pittsburgh airport to check out the World War II era plane. Bell's son was even able to sign his father's name to the plane's rudder. These dream flights have been going on for a while now and give veterans a chance to enjoy a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Our main focus is World War II veterans and honoring them with dream flights. Typically, we fly veterans that are in assisted care facilities all over the country. We've been doing this for 10 years.
William Bell served in the U.S. Marine Corps. After his military service, he worked as a Baptist minister and a school teacher, and we salute him. We thank him. We take time now to honor another local veteran, William Maroney. The Neosho, Missouri native served in the U.S. Army and the Army National Guard. During his service with the Guard, he helped with recovery following the 1993 flood in St. Louis. We are proud to salute William Maroney. He's tonight's 4-state hero. Later, Pitt State will open up its season Thursday. Today, we hear from the Gorillas before they hit the road to Central Missouri.
Before we get to that, though, we'll break down the forecast and see if any other rain chances are lined up, including the holiday weekend. We'll get to it next. We were on track for another kind of hot afternoon, but Mother Nature, as always, has the ultimate say, and ultimately she had other plans in store for us. It was almost a repeat again of temperatures the other day where we topped out in the upper 80s to lower 90s. We did drop to 69 as advertised this morning, but we pushed to 85 at 11 o'clock. Then the numbers tanked because of outflow and rain and thunderstorms that managed to work on through. But we have seen a quick rebound at least to 88 degrees so far as this evening got underway. So where did the rain come from? When you know it, the complex of storms that fired up in South Dakota and Nebraska. Originally, all indications pointed to this complex working across northern Missouri, but the rain, as it fell apart, took a dive through our neck of the woods, leaving behind some scattered rainfall, but on the average area wide, 1/10 of an inch according to radar estimates. But underneath the heavier pockets of rain and thunderstorms, thankfully nothing severe, we had amounts range between 1 inch to 2 inches of rain. Even though we are starting the evening out on a quiet note and even more in the way of sunshine, in this wake of those storms that worked on through, left behind, you can see this very thin reflectivity line. That is outflow that came out from the thunderstorms, and at times they can serve to fire off additional isolated showers and storms, but it hasn't done anything yet. So we're still looking okay at 616 on the radar and outside from 7th and range line. We're sitting at 88 in Joplin. A very light south breeze at 3. Feels like 91 though, with the dew point sitting at 67 degrees, but at least we'll take most areas in the mid to upper 80s instead of the lower 90s that we were anticipating today. But the humidity is making it feel like the lower 90s in a number of spots. But eventually we'll drop back through the 80s, 70s, down into the upper 60s for most locations tonight, where we could see a few isolated storms try to return overnight. But it's not from the thunderstorms that worked on through here, nor is it from the remnants of Ida. It's because our frontal boundary is still parked just to the north at the surface, and upstairs, the jet stream's coming out of the northwest, and there's a very faint sign of a weak wave or two, one in the right along the jet tonight and over the next few days. So what does that mean for us? Well, we're starting out mostly clear, but I wouldn't be surprised if we have some partly cloudy skies work in by about 10 o'clock tonight. And then you see as we head toward the overnight, we could see a few isolated storms popping up. Otherwise, everyone's mild. We'll drop back into the upper 60s once again. And once we get past the morning hours, I think that's our best shot for any isolated rain or storms for tomorrow. The afternoon looks good, but with the returning sun, we should unfortunately go back into the 90s for highs. 69 in the morning, 85 by noon, afternoon highs around 91. I think we're quiet though going into Wednesday night and Thursday morning, but as we head toward Thursday afternoon, maybe another shot for a few isolated thunderstorms as we top back out in the lower 90s once again, thanks to this upper ridge building back in. But it actually starts to shift back to the south as we head toward Friday and Saturday to start the holiday weekend. As it does, another front just to the north of the region could supply us with some scattered storms Friday and Saturday. Fortunately, that will keep highs between 88 and 90 degrees. Fortunately, we drop for Sunday and Monday. On the flip side, though, down, even though we look nice for Sunday and Labor Day, we'll have highs around 90 and 94. But in the meantime, though, we were glad to see that rain work through today, and temperature is at least tolerable for the next few days.
Yeah, we desperately needed the rain, and we could use some more.
We certainly could.
Thanks, Nick. Coming up in sports, the Chanute Blue Comets enter the fall with high expectations. We're going to hear from the team. And Pitt State and Missouri Southern prepare to open up the season on Thursday. Jacob Leonard has those stories and more next.
Game week is finally here for both the Pittsburgh State Gorillas and Missouri Southern Lions. On Thursday, both teams will hit the field in their openers, playing in their first MIAA conference game since 2019. Pitt State is on the road in week 1, facing Central Missouri on Thursday. That's a big one for the Gorillas, facing a Central team that finished second in the league in 2019 and is ranked number 13 in the nation in the AFC preseason poll. That's a nice early season test for a Pitt State team that's picked to finish 7th in the MIAA by the league's coaches.
We got picked 7th in the conference in the coaches poll. That's more of what we're looking at right now, using that as motivation. That the rankings other than that don't really matter to us. Every day we wake up and see that we got ranked number 7. And so that's kind of what's been driving us this past few weeks. Right now we're just focused on what we can control, and if they happen to be ranked what they're ranked, then so be it. But we're looking forward to that test.
It's definitely a motivating factor. If other coaches look at us as an average team,
we got some stuff to prove. So we're definitely going to try and go out and make a statement with this game. But as Caden said, we can only control what we can control. So if we go out there and don't perform well, that's on us. And maybe they were right, but yeah, we have people to prove wrong, but we also have people to prove right here in our own community that are rooting for us.
Missouri Southern also on the road for their opener on Thursday. The Lions make the long trip to Nebraska Kearney in Week 1. Now, UNK has been a team on the rise for a while, increasing their win total every year from going winless in 2015 to going 7-5 in 2019. Now, it's not the same Lopers team we've seen in the past, but the same can be said for this Southern team beginning a new era under head coach Atiba Bradley.
This is a different Missouri Southern team from in the past. In the past, like older guys might not be as bought in, but with this new, the younger guys, you know, they're excited. They come from winning high school programs. They know what to do. They know what a winning program looks like. So we're always working in the right direction right now.
Well, the Chanute Blue Comets are just 3 days away from their season opener. Chanute hits the road on Friday to kick off the season against the Circle Thunderbirds. Now, 2020 was an up and down year for the Blue Comets. They finished 3-4 last year after going 9-2 and making an appearance in the state quarterfinals in 2019. The high expectations are back, though, for Chanute, with a talented group of skill guys, plenty of experience, and a nice senior class.
Our expectations are really high this year. We think this could be a great team. The 2019 season we felt similar, and last year we had high expectations too. And the season didn't go quite as planned with injuries and COVID. But yeah, the sky's the limit for this group. They can be special, and it's just going to take them coming together and becoming a team to make that happen.
Finally, Major League Baseball tonight. The Kansas City Royals at home this evening for their series opener against Cleveland. Kansas City been pretty good lately, winning 10 of 14 coming into the day. Tonight's game begins at 7:10. We'll have an update from Kansas City right here tonight at 10. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Nobby joins us now with a look at what's coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Tonight at 9, going to have more reaction to a new report listing Missouri as nearly the last in the nation for vaccinated nursing home workers. Also, President Biden addresses the nation after the end of the war in Afghanistan. And the latest of cleanup from Hurricane Ida. That, of course, much more coming your way tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Now, the fossilized remains of Big John, the largest Triceratops dinosaur ever discovered by paleontologists, will be sold by a Paris auction house in late September. Could fetch up to €1.5 million. Big John roamed the lands of modern-day South Dakota more than 66 million years ago. Paleontologists unearthed the first piece of bone in 2014, and by the time they were done, they had found 60% of his skull, including a 60% of the skeleton, including a nearly complete skull. The skull of Big John, named after the owner of the land where more than 200 of the dinosaur's bones were found, is nearly 9 feet long, nearly a third of its overall body length, and approximately 6.5 feet wide. Big skull, and it's remarkable they could find that many of the bones fossilized, 60 million years plus. Got some rain today. Be nice to get some more, Nick.
Yeah, we're going to try. They're going to be more isolated over the next few days, but the chances will be there, especially tomorrow morning. Despite that, we'll have highs near 91 tomorrow and Thursday. The rain chances take up, though, as the holiday weekend gets underway, Friday and Saturday. But once we hit Sunday and Labor Day, we'll dry out, so there will be some dry time to savor this holiday weekend.
Final sports note.
Former Pittsburgh State wide receiver John Brown apparently asked for and was granted his release today from the Raiders, so he's back on the free agent market. I know we would all like to see him in Kansas City, right?
Wouldn't that be something?
It would be cool.
A lot of Pitt State fans remember him fondly from his days at Pitt, and of course he's had an outstanding NFL career. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you at 10. Let's make it a great evening.